You didn't even tell me you were starting.
I'm starting. Hi, welcome back to Sawdust and Cornbread. I'm Lora Lee. If you're a first-time guest here, be sure to click the like button and subscribe. I put out new material every week. Today is a super special day because I have a special guest with me here today. This is my husband, Tim.
Hello.
And we want to answer some of our viewers' questions. This is kind of a celebration of reaching over 1,000 viewers, becoming an official YouTube channel. And Tim agreed to be on here with me once we received 1,000 subscribers and hit that threshold. So we made it. Right there.
Good job. Proud of you.
The first question a viewer asked is, how did we meet?
A guy told us we were going to hell. We were at her old church, and my church was visiting her old church, and the pastor pretty much said that all teenagers were going to hell, and then after that we went to the basement and had a party. So maybe we were going to hell?
No, it wasn't that kind of party.
Well, true. But in his eyes, I'm sure...
In the speaker's eyes.
Yeah, we were...
So that's the first time that we saw each other, or that we remember seeing each other, but it was quite a bit of time after that, and I guess I was in high school, got to be good friends with your brother. Mm-hmm. We used to run around and do a lot of things together, and through him, I saw a lot of you, and...
Fell head over heels in love with a stupid young man. She made the biggest mistake of her life. No, I don't guess you did.
Well, should we tell him about what sealed the relationship when I went head over heels over heels
you didn't really
over heels?
No. It was only one flip. I destroyed my brother's car. No biggie. She just happened to be in the front seat. Lee rolled around in the back, like a little hamster in a wheel. But it was only one. It was only one flip. And we all survived. Then after that, we pretty much started dating.
Yeah? You still had your learners.
Yeah, I only had my learners for 10 days.
And I was over 18 in the front seat, so I was responsible. And the officer approached me and said, "Ma'am, you do realize that since you're over 18 in the front seat, he's underage, you're responsible for this." And Tim actually stood between me and the officer and said, "Excuse me, officer, I take full responsibility." She told me to slow down. I didn't. And so I was like, hey, even though he just killed me, this guy has some character.
Okay. I didn't just kill you.
Almost killed
I almost killed you. It was a fairly gentle role.
It was scary, but...
True.
So that's how we met. That's how we started dating. Did you or do you homeschool? My children are grown and attended public school, but it was a much different time than now, in my opinion, and as a Christian. So much sin is sugar-coated now in the system, it's heartbreaking. And the simple answer is, yes, we homeschooled. We've had experience with homeschool and public school. Our oldest daughter, I homeschooled her all the way through graduation, all the way through 12th grade. She went on to college. Our younger daughter prayed about it and chose to go to public school beginning in 9th grade. She's currently still in public school. And so, yeah, we've seen both sides of it.
And it really depends on your kid, too. Both of our kids are really different. Allie's more introvert. So homeschool was just easy for her. Brianna's more extrovert. So that sense of community is important to her. But ultimately, she is trying all kinds of things in high school, doing different kind of, career or trade-driven classes. She learned everything she needed to learn to be an effective adult before she went to high school. So we were not concerned that she wasn't going to get an education. We know she got the education she needed to be a productive adult. This just really helped her emotional growth and exploring the world kind of thing, understanding how the world goes. I wouldn't mind talking about in that question why we homeschooled.
Sure. Yeah. So that happened. We're rewinding again before we were married. And just as I grew in my relationship with Christ in personal time, God impressed on my heart that He wanted me to homeschool my children. And this is something I heard when I was probably 16 or 17 years old very clearly. So the whole thing, that's pretty much what kept me on track, even on the days that I felt like, am I doing the right thing? I did it because I felt like that's what God impressed on my heart. So,
how reluctant was I?
I don't think you were very reluctant in the beginning. The main thing is we didn't want our kids to be weird. Seems like I remember you saying that. You didn't want them to be weird, and you wanted them to be able to spell correctly.
Yeah. I was pretty reluctant. I was pretty, because I didn't know homeschooling at that time. The only homeschooling I know was, some families in the community picked the stereotypical homeschool kid, and they were that.
And we both went to public school. We didn't go to private school. We weren't homeschooled. Nobody in our family was homeschooled, so it was all new to us, other than what we had seen, which wasn't all good.
But I think I came around to that idea through prayer and through just hearing her heart and understanding where she, what she felt her calling was. And that was to be a mom and to homeschool her kids. So I could get behind that. That's pretty cool.
Right. And as far as the moral aspect of it, we did wait till 9th grade to give our youngest, both of them had the choice. I'm not sure if the oldest felt like she had a choice, but she never expressed an interest in going to public school. Mm-hmm. But it was 9th grade when the youngest expressed interest. And by that point, she had a good moral standing. And part of the reason she explained to me that she wanted to go to public school is she said, I feel like it can help other people. So, you can't hide a light under a basket. You want your kids to be able to shine. So again, it's individual. It depends on the kid. It depends on their personality and also their desires, because her desire was to reach other people, and she sure has. She's brought a lot of people into the church and helped a lot of kids in school that need a good friend. So I think it worked out well. And our kids aren't too weird.
They're still weird.
We're weird.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. This is an interesting question. I'd like for you to answer this one. Does Lora work?
Absolutely.
Right answer.
Absolutely. Yes, she does work. I once made a mistake of giving a testimony in front of a group, and the testimony had to do with her not working and the reason why she's not working, and the revelation that God gave me about me being the provider of the home. So it was a good testimony, but my ending was, and now she hasn't worked a day in her life since. That got me quite the reaction out of the audience that I was speaking to. So yes, she's probably worked harder than she would if she was a true go out, kill something and bring it home kind of wife. I think her reward has been better.
Oh yeah. And
obviously it's benefited our family. Being a single income has always been hard, but it's what I think God has called us to. So He's always provided. He's always sustained us. We haven't been rich. We haven't had everything we've wanted.
We've always had what we needed.
But we've always had
when
what
we
needed.
Need it.
And some of the things we want.
Yeah, a lot of the things we want. This was a question from Bill Keller over at Live Simple, Live Free. And he's interested to know more about how is our family involved in music. I had mentioned in a video that the entire family is musical. I don't know if you can see, but we have a wall full of guitars.
You just gave me permission to buy more guitars.
Well, I said we have more space for guitars.
Which meant I need to buy more guitars.
We have a dulcimer, we have a mandolin, we have a violin.
We have a lot of instruments we can't play. So to answer the question, how musical is our family? Musical talent is gradient. and I honestly think I'm on the lower end of that scale.
No.
Allie is phenomenal on the piano and hearing music and understanding what she's hearing and being able to manipulate music the way she wants it. Brianna's singing ability is off the charts. She's fine tuning that. She's growing in that. Lora doesn't admit it, but she can sing very well. She just chooses not to anymore. But she can hear it, hear harmonies, things that people just don't normally hear, and just get it, being able to identify those. Then there's me, who I just struggle through.
No. When did you pick up the guitar? Because you haven't been playing guitar the whole time we've been together.
No. Well, I mean, technically, yes. I mean, there was always a guitar, which maybe one day we can do a guitar. I could talk about all my guitars.
Sure.
But
there you go. He just volunteered. I have witnesses.
I did. That may have been a mistake. But that just means I need to get more guitars so the video would be substantial enough. There was always a guitar at the house. We used to live in a town about 20 minutes away, and there was always a guitar in the house. Typically, it was an old guitar. I still have it. My brother taught me a lot, my older brother Lee. Mainly just shapes, some rhythms, not too much. But, it's just one of those things. You pick up a guitar, you learn something. You pick up a guitar, you learn something. And this is over my lifetime. It was probably 2012 when I decided, I think, through inspiration of the Holy Spirit, to buy a guitar. She thought I was crazy.
He says, I need a guitar. I just need one. I need to learn to play. Well,
so
okay.
Yeah. So I did buy a guitar and determined that I was going to start playing a guitar. I knew enough to get me started over all those years of picking up, learning, that once I had a guitar, it did come pretty easy. That progression is what made it easy, not the fact that I really am all that good at it.
He is. He is. And we've always had music in our family since the girls were small, and I'm sure that's helped them to pick up on things too. Because I think you and Allie are the only two that can sight read. Brianna can sight read a little. I
don't know if I can sight read. I mean, you give me chord sheets and I can play the song, but if you give me a bunch of notes, I know I can't play it.
But you can pick up things by ear pretty well. But anyhow,
sort of.
My point is, we've always had musical instruments. We've always had somebody singing in the house since the girls were little, and I think that's one reason that they have picked up on it so well, and they just have really natural abilities. But yeah, it's a lot of fun, and I have seen Tim play guitar in his sleep, literally laying there in the bed playing the guitar, and he's always playing guitar. Riding in the car, he'll have something going through his head, he'll be playing guitar on his leg.
I gotta feel the rhythm. I gotta know what the strumming pattern's gotta be. I mean, it's that just has to happen.
So music is a big part of our family.
But something interesting. We don't have a lot of music in our home. Like, we don't listen to music a lot. Like, when the house is.
No, I like it quiet.
Usually when I put on music, she tells me to turn it down. So maybe that's why.
Music all the time, except for at home. No, I miss having jam sessions. We used to get together with his family and just people bring their instruments and play, and that was neat. I do miss that.
And I got to give a shout out to Laurie, my sister-in-law. Without her inspiration and direction, I wouldn't be where I was at either. Because she blessed me with the guitar I play every Sunday, and it was well over what I could ever pay for a guitar at that stage in my life, and so I would not be where I would be now if it wasn't for her.
Right. And we couldn't have got the guitar without going into debt, which we don't do. Which the next question says, why do we live...
What a segue.
Yeah, how about that? Why do we live debt-free?
Because it scared the bejeebies out of us.
Yes.
I mean, it was actually in this house before we owned it. I remember in this very general location when we realized how much debt we had. And
it's not a lot by today's standards.
It wasn't. I think it was $1,200, which it was on a credit card, and it was a credit card I got before we went on our honeymoon because she married a boy. I say a boy who didn't have a job.
We were broke college students. Neither one of us had a job.
So, is she all that smart? Really?
Hey, it turned out all right.
but that credit card is what, it ballooned to $1,200, which in today's standards, when the average household has $40,000 or more in credit card debt or other debt, that really isn't that much. But to our world and our net worth at the time, like I said, we were living in this house and rent free, and we were blessed with that at the time. But that $1,200 was just
it was overwhelming. Plus we had college debt. Our car was paid for, but you still have your insurance, tags, taxes, and all of that business. And I was pregnant. I was 9 months pregnant when we moved. No, 8 months pregnant when we moved back into this house. So we had medical bills. Actually, I'll put a video link up here. I was 8 months pregnant at the house that we were staying at when we were so deeply in debt. But seriously, it doesn't sound like a lot, but we couldn't catch up. And I had debt collectors coming to the door with this big pregnant belly, and he was blowing smoke in my face. And it was a very sad, scary story, but I'll put a link for that video up here. But yeah, debt, it scared us to death, like you said. But there is no freedom in it. The whole time you feel like, you are beholden to someone else, and there's no freedom.
The question was, why do we live debt-free? The ultimate reason is because the borrower is a slave to the lender. That's what Scripture says. And we felt that bondage with that credit card debt of $1,200. It didn't take much. It was a lot in our world, but that debt, that bondage that we had was enough. And that bondage came with slave masters coming to the door and knocking on the door.
And phone calls and letters. And
So that was the point that we realized, this is not the way God intended us to live.
The next question is, how long have we been married? We kind of cheated because the camera stopped working and we had to restart it, but I think we established that this May it will be 25 years. Mm-hmm. And I said it seems like an eternity and it seems like yesterday at the same time. A lot has happened.
Yes. And a lot has happened quick. 25 years is a long time to do anything. Needless to say, to be married, but it does seem like it has come and gone pretty quick.
Things go by fast once you start having children and staying busy with them. Life happens. Mm-hmm. It goes by fast.
We got married when we were very young. We got married when I was 18, you were 20?
21.
Oh, that's true. She's old. So I was 18. I did turn 19 3 days into our honeymoon, which was a good birthday.
Yeah, we went to Dixie Stampede.
We did. It was good. You couldn't quite eat that little baby chicken on your plate, but I did.
Yeah, he ate it. I was hungry, but I enjoyed the show.
It was good. I don't really recommend that for anybody.
Dixie Stampede?
No. Yeah, don't go there. Getting married young.
Yeah, I know.
My advice to young people is pursue what you need to pursue while you're single, like college, getting a trade under your belt, or finishing those things that just are so much easier when you don't have a marriage. It's just hard to be a full-time husband, full-time student, full-time providing for the family. So if there's anything you need to accomplish it. But besides that, it was what God had in store for us. We grew up together, had our ups and downs, but overall I think we've come out of it pretty well.
Yeah, we get along pretty good most of the time. How does Tim feel about Lora doing most of the home maintenance?
How do I feel about it? I don't have to do it. I think people, I don't know. This may be a misconception. I do know how to do. She's much smarter than I am, but I do know how to do household maintenance. But she enjoys it.
I really do.
And to me, it's a burden. To me, it's, oh crap, I gotta fix this again. But I also found early on that because she enjoys it, she found joy in it. She found purpose in it. She found creative ways to do things that we probably didn't have the money to do, but because of her creative mind and her ability to think through problems, she found solutions that my solution would have been, well, let's go to the store and buy new cabinets. I mean, whatever, because I don't have the creative ability that she does.
I know a lot of times, especially earlier on, you said that I drove you crazy, and it wasn't the process.
You still drive me crazy. But
you would say the process, like, because I wouldn't do it the way that you would have done it. But like you said, I was making what we had work. I was using what we have,
right,
and turning it into what we wanted or needed.
And you wouldn't also finish things.
Yeah, I was really bad about that.
So not only did you do it in a very unconventional, odd way that obviously, the end results were good.
It worked.
Looking back through some of your videos, I think in the very beginning you were talking about how, hey, contractors, engineers, look away, because this is not, and that I had to stop watching. Not her videos, but her actually doing the projects, because she does do them in an unconventional way, but the end results do work.
I remember when I started redoing the floors, and I had things stripped, and I sanded them by hand with a handheld orbital sander, and I had all these different stages going on in different parts of the floor. And he says, if you die right now, I have no idea what to do. These floors are just gonna have to, I hope you at least live until these floors are done, because I have no idea what you're doing.
Yeah, and at that time we had no money for me to even think, hey, let's get these floors professionally done, if she died, obviously. But and going back to the thing, I think the two things that drove me crazy the most would be the unconventional way, but I could overlook that. But the fact that you had 12 projects going at one time, and nothing was getting finished, and she's gotten better at that.
I think I've gotten a lot better.
A lot better. Now there's still some...
Stay on task.
There's still some projects that we've got.
Oh, there's always more.
That,
yeah.
Yeah, that aren't finished, that she accidentally started. But we're moving forward.
Well, part of that, too, is, and this isn't on our list, but I think it's important to mention because it's part of who we are as a couple. And part of the reason that I start things and don't finish them is just who we are, and that is I dive into things head first, sometimes without thinking them through. I want to get it done, and I just start doing it. And you're more, let's hold off, let's think this through, sometimes maybe to the point of where it doesn't get done at all. It
doesn't need to be done.
So we kind of balance each other out that way. And I think that's one reason that I used to start a lot of projects.
Let me ask you a quick question. Husbands, if you're watching, does your wife drive you crazy by moving the furniture? Yeah,
it's free.
She does, doesn't she?
It's free. You get a new look, and it's free.
It's annoying.
Okay, let's go on to the next question.
What about that time that you put the bed in the living room?
Yeah, I thought that was a neat idea.
It was a horrible idea.
It gave us a huge
So
bedroom.
our living room turned into our bedroom. So people come in to our house, and it was our bedroom.
But our bedroom was huge. And how often do we have guests,
okay,
really?
How long did that last?
2 days.
No. We didn't even sleep in that bed.
Because you told me to...
Yeah, I was pretty mad.
I got it back in there, though. Yeah, I haven't done that again. But, yeah, our walls, the whole room if you come to our house more than once, it'll be different.
Yeah, so with that said, I'm okay with her doing the maintenance. You know, obviously she needs help. I'm there to help her. But this is, you know, I've sort of given her free reign and given her the ability to make the home what she wants it to be. And she's honored that trust and that respect in the fact that she is using what she has. She doesn't pursue the new stuff. She doesn't pursue, you know, spending money to make things better. So obviously God's blessing us and that we can almost get out of that stage. But in our life, I know you won't ever get out of that stage, but you know, financially God's blessed us to a degree that we were able to redo cabinets with new cabinets and stuff like that now. But in the past, you know, we did what we could do.
Right.
So with that said, I'll ask you this question.
Okay.
Why is the channel called Sawdust and Cornbread?
Sawdust and Cornbread. Well, I make a lot of sawdust. Usually there's a mess somewhere of a heap of sawdust.
Multiple mess because you haven't finished the jobs. But
not as much as there used to be, but I make a whole lot of sawdust, and I hate to cook. He does most of the cooking around here. He and my oldest daughter, yeah. But, however, I do make one killer pan of down-home Southern style, from scratch cornbread. Not talking about the nasty yellow Jiffy Mix stuff that's like cake. No, I make some good buttermilk cornbread, and that I have perfected, and I don't mind making that too much. But yeah, everything else, nah. So I make a lot of sawdust and a little bit of cornbread.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I don't really like either one of them.
You like the sweet stuff.
I like the sweet stuff.
That's not cornbread. That's cake. It's dessert.
Is that
about it? I think that's it for this
I'm
time.
looking over. I don't see anything else.
If you guys have any more questions, be sure to put them in the comments below, and who knows, maybe I'll be able to get him back over here. If it's about a guitar, anything about his guitars, I'm sure he would come back and talk to you again. So put your guitar questions down there.
I'm not a guitar expert.
But you'd like to get one and show off a new guitar, or
well, I need one at the office.
An office guitar.
An office guitar. I do.
Okay.
And another one right here.
Well, thanks so much for joining us today. I hope you've enjoyed it. Let us know in the comments below, and be sure, if this is your first time as a guest here on the channel, to like and subscribe. I put out new videos every week, ways that you can take what you have, make what you want. We're trying to stay in budget, live debt-free lives, and make the home that we want using the stuff that we have. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next week.
Goodbye.
Practice. You ready?
What are we gonna say?
Are you ready?
Ready. I think she's leaning in a little farther than she was before, but that's okay. We're married.